Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It may be the afternoon or evening when you're watching this daily cryptocurrency market update. It's all in crypto here, and we are going to be diving into the cryptocurrency markets more specifically than looking at cross markets. We know that this is a dollar story. We've continuously stressed the fact that the macroeconomic landscape that we are in, really the monetary policies set by central banks around the world, are very, very restrictive for markets, and we see further downside. We're now starting to see that downside take place, and people will say that, okay, it's because of the FTX situation, it's because of what Binance are doing, and so on and so forth. Yes, that is a variable and a factor. However, this was sort of set to happen whether these catalysts arose or not. The charts just simply predicted it. This is not a strong looking chart by any stretch of the imagination. And what we've really tried to do more than anything on this channel is keep you guys on the right side of it. We've tried to move away from clickbait and trying to be popular in terms of being bullish and actually be as real and honest as we possibly can. And that's hopefully what we've achieved over the past several months now. You know, we've been very much on the side of downside since 44K. We weren't the first out of the market, but we certainly got out of the market. And here we are today. And the markets have saw a pretty epic spill. The FTT token is down 22% on the day after you had one of the largest cryptocurrency channels out there actually come out and defend it and long at the $22 mark, only to get wrecked as they were sort of predicting that there was going to be a peg held. How would that peg possibly have been held when FTX's stablecoin reserves reached a year low, 93% down over the last 2 weeks? Something major is going on in the cryptocurrency market. What happened with and we're going to talk about it, I may even do a separate video on it, with Binance coming out and saying that they are liquidating their FTT position. Essentially, FTX, or there was rumors that FTX were going to come out and actually hold sort of, be a buyer of that liquidity. They simply don't have that volume of money on the sidelines to do that, okay? And if they were going to do that, that would mean selling the likes of Ethereum and some of their other crypto holdings. We're getting reports that Alameda is on the radar of BitDAO community for allegedly dumping its Bit tokens. So maybe they are, and maybe they're going to start dumping other tokens to try and support the FTT token. That's going to have a negative effect on the cryptocurrency market overall. And there's already going to be a negative effect based on what CZ is doing. We've got some other news for you. I want to do a bit of technicals, but let me get the news out of the way first and explain what's going on right now and what all this news is. The Fed have also announced a seizure of $3.136 billion of Bitcoin, stolen Bitcoin that came from the Silk Road kind of days, the second largest cryptocurrency recovery. Are the Fed likely to hold that Bitcoin and be a hodler? That is a lot of volume if that wanted to hit the market. So we've got all of these sell pressures coming out. The charts have already told you this, by the way, guys, that the price was going down. And we haven't even spoke about Mt. Gox. Everyone's gone very quiet about Mt. Gox all of a sudden, even though those sort of customers or ex-customers of Mt. Gox are set to get their Bitcoin back sometime soon. So you have the perfect sell pressure in a market that we've stated has just been consolidating sideways for 100+ days now, not due to this being the generational bottom and all your institutions going in and buying. We haven't seen the volume that supports that. More because there's very much a lack of interest, okay? Nobody wants to aggressively short or long here until there's some sort of a directional trend being established or breakout being established. So you've got potentially massive pockets of sell pressure coming in that will not be absorbed. Guys, when we've been saying day in, day out, and we've been getting criticized consistently for it, how can you be bearish here? How can you be bearish here? It's already 70-something% down. Just because something's 70-something% down, from where it is today, it can still go 90-something% down, or 100% down, actually, in certain cases. Not that we think that that's going to happen, but we do definitely err on the side of, right now, me and my community are all in. If you want to join my community, there's a link in the description to my Patreon, are all in stablecoins. Okay, we try and trade daily. We try and make money from this. I did manage to get a short in on Solana Sunday night, but it wasn't a massive one. You know, I've been away, so I've been kind of catching up with things. So I've not really been actively trading, so I've not captured this move perfectly. We've still sort of caught the tail end of it. But there is so much going on, and still people are saying that June was the bottom. June wasn't the bottom because we put in a new weekly, daily, and even hourly close, ladies and gentlemen. So technically, June wasn't even the bottom. There are some big YouTubers out. I am 100% convinced, and I've been in this space long enough, and it's why this channel isn't as popular as others, because we don't come out and we don't sort of click. Well, we do use click. Everybody uses clickbait, guys. It's how you get viewers on YouTube. I'm not going to try and beat around the bush there, or I should say, appealing thumbnails. But we've really been as honest as possible, even though it's been unpopular in regards to being bearish. And I understand why people wouldn't want to be bearish here. I understand that, you know, we all believe that this is a technological revolution. But the reality of the situation is that we are in a very harsh macro environment. We've spoken and continuously reiterated, and I may release the Sunday meeting that I did with my Patreons as a kind of taster for anybody looking to come on boards. We've continued to reiterate the fact that markets are going to continue to go down because liquidity is needed elsewhere. And if you have one big pot of liquidity and some's over here, some's in Bitcoin, some's in the stock market, you know, you now have this kind of giant, this bully that's come along and said, well, I need that liquidity now. I'm going to take it from you. I'm going to take it from you. I'm going to take it from you. And the cryptocurrency market is a liquid market that has had quite a lot of liquidity taken from it. And that's going to continue to be the case. We haven't even felt the effects of people having to pay, in some cases, double what they were paying on their mortgages. And all these other sort of catalysts. You know, it is a very, very bad economic and unprecedented economic situation that we find ourselves in. It's not a good time, in my opinion, to be an investor. It will be. You want to buy the fear eventually. But the thing is, it's not real. Okay, it's not real fear yet. Real fear is when people have given up. Real fear is what we went through and I went through and felt it myself in 2018, 2019. 2018, going into 2019, when you were down here, people had literally given up. I couldn't even talk to people about crypto because I didn't want to know anymore. And that was what really made me. And that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, is around the corner. We had actually said that we thought a similar thing was happening over here. You know, leading into your March 2020 sell-off. And prior to that, you know, you had a similar thing over here. Very, very similar. And we'd also said as well, with this rally, be very, very careful. Yes, it's showing strength for now. But the issue that you've got is typically just before you have a major break, you get price action like this, whether it be something as large as this or whether it be something like this, because markets love to fake out and trick people into believing that it's a breakout, only for them to lose a lot of their money. And that's what we think the game plan is. And we typically don't invest in things that are under their 30-week moving average. So there is a hell of a lot going on. You know, the Fed seizing this amount of Bitcoin is insane. We're going to do a video specifically on this. Binance dumping FTT's token. Okay, it's very bad for you've got to kind of question, okay, well, why did Binance lead that liquidity? You've also got to, and he's been very, I like CZ, he's been very, very transparent through all this. You've also got to then say, okay, well, are FTX going to actually try and preserve the price of their FTT token? They had kind of said that they were going to do that. There was rumors of it. Rumors you shouldn't trust, by the way, guys, in these markets, because people always have vested interest and typically aren't telling you the truth. But this is FTX's stablecoin reserves. It's at pretty much lows. There's now rumors that you actually can't withdraw from FTX right now. You know, this is pretty serious stuff, guys, going on. And still, people refuse to acknowledge it. And literally, the bulls are basing their thesis on being bullish based on the fact that the price is 70-something% down. And that means it's an opportunity, because at one point it was 69K. The opportunity is coming. Follow this channel. We'll keep you on the right side of it. But that time is not now, ladies and gentlemen. You guys will all know this because you watch the channel every single day. If you don't, hit that subscribe button, click that like button, and leave me a comment. It really helps me get this channel out, this content out far and wide. Remember, it's still a dollar story, guys. The dollar, in my opinion, is going to reassert, and you are going to see, maybe it comes and puts in a slight lower low, but you will see a reassertion of this. And the reason you'll see a reassertion of this is because there is more dollar debt than any other debt out there, and that debt is not only has a higher interest rate on it, but there's just simply more of it. So there's more demand than there are for your other currencies. You know, this is you know, the kind of story of the period that we are in. I think gold is coming down. I think the stock market is coming down. We've spoken about the stock market a million one times and how I think it's in a 2008 kind of period. This is how things go, guys. And this is something that, you know, you've really got to pay attention to and understand that there's going to be further downside because of the things we've spoken about and continue to speak about. And really, when it comes to investing, ladies and gentlemen, it is all a liquidity game. There is nothing, you know, more or less simple about it. If you understand liquidity, you know, what drives the markets? Money. Bad example. What drives the... Bear with me, guys. What drives the markets? It's money. It's liquidity. Well, what's happening with that money and liquidity at the moment is it's getting taken from our markets into others. It's important you understand this concept. And with all these kind of, you know, catalysts taking place, I personally don't think it paints a very good picture for our market and potentially the direction it's coming. That being said, we're going to leave on a high note. This is absolutely a technological revolution, and it is going to change the world. It already is. It's in the future, you're going to be using blockchain technology without even knowing. It's going to be integrated into everything, just like we don't really think about the motoring industry anymore as a revolutionary, because we all grew up with it. Whereas at one point, it was like, you know, and it was met with huge amounts of skepticism, just like our industry, just like any technological revolution. So don't be too pessimistic. Be excited at the opportunity that you have in front of you. Be excited at the fact that this will turn around eventually. And, you know, that we will see brighter days, but those brighter days are not yet, certainly with all this nonsense going on. It's why we've actually, you know, we've got a lot of stable coins. We don't actually even try and farm them at the moment unless we can do that on an exchange. And the reason being is because DeFi protocols are vulnerable. Everything's vulnerable. You know, it's great when everything's going up and you can leverage to the hilt. The problem is on the way down, that leverage often has to redirect. So that's all I've got for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed the content, a like is always very much appreciated. So is a comment. And I'll see you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.